What's going on? This is Coach Marcus from Pro Fan Talk. Just got finished watching Monday Night Football. Figured I'd put a recap together. We had a good stream, but just wanted to talk about the game. The Texans were pretty much in control most of the game. They kept letting Dallas hang around. Dallas just couldn't do nothing with it. They had opportunities, but literally they could not do anything with it. Cooper Rush threw the ball 55 damn times a night. He was 32 of 55 for 354 yards and a pick. But for all intent and purposes, the Texans should have had about 4 interceptions tonight. About 4 interceptions. They legit dropped 3 of them. And they got 1, but they should have had 4, maybe even 5. And they couldn't take advantage of those opportunities. Derek Barnett had the one play where he gets the strip sack, then somebody else recovers the fumble, then they fumble, then he gets it back and he runs it into the end zone. Dallas had no answer. Dallas looks like they have completely checked out of this season. CeeDee Lamb is still making plays, but he's also mixing in some business decisions. They just try not to get hurt. I'm not sure what McCarthy is calling or what their offensive coordinator is getting into. They had a sweet play, just a quick slant. They was in man coverage, and Kevontae Turpin shook the DB on one step, ran the hard slant, and took it 64 yards for the touchdown, and they never went back to Turpin. Never. Turpin's the quickest guy on the field, and you don't go back to him? Put a screen in his hands, do something. He's a playmaker. After 55 times, Kevontae Turpin had 3 targets. Now, the one play was 64 yards. He ended up with 3 receptions for 86 yards. That's it. They never bothered to get him the ball again. CeeDee Lamb, 8 receptions for 93 yards. No touchdowns. Kevontae Turpin was the only one that scored. They had checked out of the game. You could tell they had checked out. Micah Parsons had that look on his face all night, shaking his head because they didn't know what to do. They couldn't get nothing done. They made a couple good plays on defense, a few plays on offense, but they could never get really anything going. And the Texans took it to him. And the Texans let him off the hook twice. But Dallas just couldn't do really anything. So it was an interesting game. That is more of an indictment of the Texans not being able to just handle their business because CJ Stroud just didn't look good in the second half. He ended up 23 for 34 for 257. And 1 touchdown. No passing touchdowns. 1 INT. His longest pass was 37 yards. Joe Mixon did the bulk of the work tonight. Joe Mixon was in his bag tonight. Joe Mixon had 2 catches for 44 yards, and he had 20 carries, 109 yards, and 3 touchdowns, as long as being a 45-yarder. Joe Mixon was getting it done tonight. Tank Dell had 1 carry, so this was the Joe Mixon game. And they probably should have, if they would have caught some of them interceptions, they probably would have had a 40 burger on them. But Dallas is completely checked out. It's funny. I'm watching some of Law Nation stuff, and they losing their shit right now. Law Nation they are losing their shit right now. That is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Because he's somebody, I've watched this stuff before. He's pretty good. And at least he tells the truth. They got that, they all drink that Dallas Kool-Aid, but at least he's somebody that, for the most part, tells the truth. And you can look, the look on his face right there is just like Micah Parsons was looking in the game tonight. They are losing their shit. They don't know what to do. And they have no answers. No answers. Dallas looks horrible. Dak Prescott will be crazy to try to come back this year to play for this team. because he'll probably end up getting hurt again, especially when you come back after getting something grafted back to your bone. So ain't no telling when he's going to be 100%. Man, sit your ass down till next year. Trust me on that one. So I can't wait to hear Micah Parsons' podcast tomorrow or whenever he does it, because I'll be interested to hear what he got to say, because they were god awful. And the Texans weren't that good. It was just Joe Mixon. You couldn't stop him. So we'll see what they do. But Dallas is cooked. Dallas is already checked out of this season. So we'll see you on the next one. Go Birds.